Welcome to our Thursday live here with Erika Joanne Art. We are doing the Porch and Petal gift tags, and we are on part 3 today. Part 4 will be on Saturday, so I'm excited, super excited. We've been having so much fun. So we've already done this one, and we've done this flower. And I recognize one of you guys posted that you had some gift tags. They were already pre-cut tags that you had in your stash and you used them, and I love that. I just want to shout out to you. That's wonderful. I love it. If you don't, these tags are here for your convenience if you want to purchase them. They're already pre-cut and they have the etched design on them. But I encourage you to use what you have in your stash. Nothing feels better than using something you already have, right? It does, because we get this big stash and then we're like, what do we do with this? And if you have something that will work, like our friend that just posted about her find in her stash, I think that's wonderful. So please, please use what you have. We are going to be working on this one today, and then this one is on Saturday. So, so fun. That one with the strawberries is really fun. So we've got our, let's see, our design here. I'm going to cut it out so that I can transfer it easily onto my paper. I have watercolor paper ready. I'm going to turn my heater off. Yeah, I have the heater on in Washington. It's cold today. Yeah, we're starting to see the effects of fall here near Seattle. So, starting to be sweater weather. I love it though. Oh, and our neighbor just put up their Halloween stuff. And this is a neighbor that does like a haunted house, and they go all out. They have all kinds of big, what are those, like decorations that in the yard, that are air filled. I can't remember what they're called, but they're just big decorations. They got a big cat in their yard. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I got that cut out. If you need the e-pattern for this, it's on our website. Just go to erikajoanne.com and you'll see on the homepage some links to where you can purchase the e-pattern for this. The e-pattern includes the complete instructions for doing this step by step. I am like meticulous about my step by step instructions, a little bit over the top, but I do a lot there. And then it has some people call them templates. It has a templates or line drawing, and then a shading guide, which is really nice to know where to shade, and then your complete list of supplies that you'll need. So that's all on the website if that's what you want to do and paint along with us. You'll also need a piece of 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just, find something good. You'll want to trace that on this, what we sometimes call a template or a line drawing. You want to trace that onto your watercolor paper, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is for all of you who are using your own supplies at home. So if you have the pre-printed tags, you don't have to do this part. It's already traced on there for you. Okay, so I need my tape first. And if you're a painter, you should have blue tape in your supply list or in your supplies sitting in your studio or your painting space or your painting table. Have some blue tape there. Sometimes when my family finds my blue tape, it disappears. Do you have that problem? You know what? I think I'm going to just trace around it with a pencil. Then I have a nice tracing. I'm going to do that. That it can cut out. Oops, I keep going off the And here I can cut out. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Erika Joanne from Erika Joanne Art, and I share innovative ways to paint and pencil. I use paint and pencil together in my pieces, and I find that I get the best of both worlds that way, combining the two mediums. Okay, so I got my little pattern ready to trace. Now you want a piece of graphite paper. This is gray graphite. You can get it in two different types. You can get the waxy graphite paper or the unwaxed graphite paper. It's just regular graphite, no wax. The regular graphite, no wax, is actually pretty good for watercolor paper. That's what watercolor artists use because it doesn't leave like little waxy lines that are hard to erase. So if you can find that, it's not easy to find. I have to say that. I really like the Susan Shiwi non-wax graphite paper, and I don't know if she still sells it or not. Maybe some of you guys know. But yeah, Susan Shiwi has a great non-waxy graphite paper. I do have some graphite paper I can put up on the website. It's kind of in between waxy and non-waxy, but it still works really good, even though it isn't totally true non-waxy. It works really good. Okay, so I need a sharp, a little sharp. I'm gonna look through stylus. I'm gonna show you what I have. This is what I have today. You can see it's pretty sharp there. To trace my design. That's even maybe not as sharp as I'd like it to be, but it'll work. How is your day today in your neck of the woods? I'm going to see on the computer your comments in a second and chat with you. I wanted to tell you I've been working on my YouTube videos, and I noticed something that I didn't know because I'm learning as I go, actually, that the live videos are placed below, like, if, okay, I guess I should back up the truck a little bit. If you go to my YouTube page and go to look for these videos, they're not going to come up on the top, even though they're the most recent videos of mine, because they were live videos. And I might not, I don't know everything about YouTube, but what I'm discovering is that if you scroll down on your page a little bit, they should be there. And you'll see the picture of them on the, I purposely put a picture in of these tags so you know what it looks like. And then I'm also labeling part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and so on, like that, so that you know which one to tune into. The other way you can find these videos is if you look on the top bar of choices, it will say live, and just click on the live and it will bring up these videos also. So I don't know why they don't just put them up at the top of my feed or your feed. I don't know why they don't do that. For some reason, they make the live videos, they are a separate like entity. So there could be something I'm missing. I don't know, but that's what I'm finding so far. So if you want to come back and tune in to these videos for the replay, just look up live or scroll down farther on your home page. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. Getting this on there. You can go ahead and put all the details on. And some days I'm a better tracer. Some days it's not so good. Depends on the day. It's working out okay today. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Let's see here. One more leaf area. I've been thinking about those spooky tags. I've been wanting to sit down and work on them, but I have not had a chance yet. Maybe today I'll get a chance. So maybe you'll be seeing those in the future here. October's just around the corner. Well, I noticed people are really trying to get a head start on Halloween. It's like different than it was when my kids were young, we would be lucky if we get Halloween up 2 weeks before or 1 week before. Okay, I got it traced. Do you see it? Does it look okay? Put that aside, put this aside. You want to, I like to keep my graphite paper like in a little plastic sleeve, and that keeps it from getting wet. All right, we're gonna go ahead and squeeze the paint out on our palette so that we'll have our paint colors ready. And I'm gonna use my trusty little gray matters pad. We'll start out with, let's see here. We're gonna have a little bit of amethyst. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. So you don't even hardly need anything, just like that. And then we got celadon, a little bit there too. Someone was asking about a wet palette. They found that because they put very little paint down on their palette, that their paint was drying up pretty quickly. And so you can do a wet palette, sure, and then you could close it up and it's ready for the next time you paint. Or the other idea I had is you could just take, let me just show you really quick here. I'm just gonna do it. So you can just, if you live in an area that it's pretty dry, like Arizona, Utah, those areas, it's pretty dry. You can take a piece of paper towel, fold it a few times, and then wet it. Okay, so it's like damp, it's not like dripping wet. I don't think it's dripping. I could take a little more water out. Okay, and then make sure it's not like super drippy wet, but it's damp. Okay. And then you can squeeze your paint right on that. And the other thing is, if you have air conditioning coming into your room, that's going to cause your paint to dry out too. So it's just something to think about. If you feel like you want your paint to go a little farther, you can just do this. And that will hold your paint and keep it wet. You can also use a little sprayer of water. So like a little hand sprayer, a hand pump sprayer, and just put water down on your paint ever so often. Okay, do we got all the colors? We just got two more right here. So that's my rose pink. Oh, I'm not saying. This is rose pink. I just did pine green. I did celadon and amethyst. Okay. We need Turner's yellow too. Turner's yellow. I believe that's our last color. Okay. So you see how that paper towel, it just soaks it in, but it really keeps it moist. So hopefully you can do something like that if you live in a really dry area. I'm just gonna fold this up and see, I can just throw this away when I'm done if I want to. Or you can keep it like in a plastic sealed box where it stays really wet, and then also put it in the fridge. That's another way to save your paint if you want to save it from, day to day. It's good to have another piece of watercolor paper, just a little scratch one. I call these my tester strips, and I can just test my color on my watercolor paper before I go to my main project. Okay, I'm gonna take a break for just a second and check the comments, see how you guys are doing. See if I can see your comments. I gotta turn the sound off. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have been in a deadline ocean. That's probably the best way to describe it. Deadline ocean. I know everyone's probably like, "Oh, isn't that the story of your life, Erica?" Because yeah, I am usually in a deadline ocean or a deadline tornado. But lately I have been, and oh, it's been crazy, and I'm behind on everything. So, but we'll just keep working, keep working. Okay, just keep swimming, right? Hey, Alice. Hello from Southern Florida, and Jackie. It's a rainy day there in Cleveland. Good for watching YouTube, for sure. And Joan from Portage Lakes, Ohio. Hello, hello. And Valerie from Oklahoma. Sharon from New Hampshire. Sandy from Florida. Hello, Susie and Sandy. Yay! Glad you're here from Florida. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Good, good. You guys. Oh, there's more comments. I'm missing them all. Hello, Liz and Lisa, upstate New York, and Valerie. She says, "Can you use Colony Blue? I don't have Celadon." Sure. Use what you have, you guys. Please. I would love you to do that because I don't know. I'm just a big advocate on that. You use what you have. And if you don't have a color and you want it later, you can always get it. We have it. It's here. You can purchase it. But I really do want you to use what you have to get yourself started because we want you to get moving on this. We want you to have fun. Okay, I am going to grab another paper towel. Okay. Get myself ready here. So the first color, let's use the Turner's yellow first. And you don't need to water it down too much because I want it fairly opaque, and that's kind of how it's been with this design. We're gonna work on the yellow areas. We've got a yellow area here. It's kind of this large section of the teardrop on our, it's like a little tulip. Go ahead and wash that in with like a medium wash. I'm just using a round brush. And then you also want to do the edges here, these side yellow edges on the flower. I'm going to pull this over here so you can kind of see it as we go. And then the other side. I want to thank everyone who's signed up for the VIP group. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. I just sent an email out to you today about some updates with our VIP group. If you are a VIP and you're on today, say hello. We're going to be deciding what our next project together is. Okay, I'm pulling out the pink. So you see the rose pink? I'm going to water that down really well. And you notice with the yellow, I didn't worry about creating any open spots like I've been doing with the other tags. The yellow, you don't have to worry about that. With the pink, you do. So let's go ahead and do the heart first since that's still not quite dry. I'm going to go ahead and put the color down, but I want to leave a few little open spots on my heart. This is to create kind of that watercolor effect. And I have a nice little wash going on. If you have your tester strip, you want to test it, test the color, make sure it's good. You don't want it too dark or too light. But if it's too light, you can always add more pigment. So I'm even going back in and adding a little bit of color here and there just to kind of create a variegation of color. You want to do that. That's how watercolor is. It has kind of like different values of the same color. Okay, so I left a few open spots. Now I'm going to go up to this middle teardrop and do the same. A few little open spots here and there. I think I'm going to put mine here on the right side. Okay. A little darker color down at the bottom. Fun. Fun, fun. I love this color. Isn't it pretty? Love it. Rinse out your brush. Our next color, let's work with the green. Let's go to pine green. I have some of that on my little wet water paper towel. That's what I want to say. It's not coming out of my mouth. Okay, and I'm going to water that down until you create this delightful green. This is all Jo Sonja paints, by the way. They have fun colors, and they can be used opaquely or they can be used transparent, just like we're doing today. They have so much pigment packed up in that little squeeze of paint. It's crazy. Okay, leaving some open spots. I'm working on the leaves, trying to create that watercolor effect. So I was talking to you about deadlines. So I got this deadline done last night, and I'm like late on it, and I got it done. It was so hard. It was a pattern, and I was writing instructions, and any of you who know what writing instructions is like, you can empathize, right? Maybe. Or if you know what it's like to write a report that's 6 pages long, then you can empathize. Yeah, that's what I was doing last night and have been doing for the last 4 days straight. But I can happily say it's done and behind me. Oh, I love it. Some fun little open spots. Okay, now down into this one, we're going to just do the inner leaf. We went to visit my dad last night, and I was just so happy to get out of the house and enjoy the evening with my husband and my dad. It was great. Great fun. It's football season, guys. Who's watching football? I know my dad is. We're not big football watchers here at our house. We kind of know what's going on through the news, but we're just not really, it's not a big, huge deal, but my dad loves it, and so it's fun to go chat with him about it and his football season. He loves this time of year. Leave those little open spots. This is just very gentle painting, isn't it? It's just very, should be relaxing. No stress. We don't want stress. This little world right here, we're trying to create no stress. This is for fun and enjoyment as you create. So if you're new to what I do, I create instructional art. So anything I do, there's a pattern associated with it. And I do that so that you can turn around and create what I create. I teach classes. I have certified teachers that teach classes too. In fact, I'm going to be sending out an email later today with links so you can see what's going on with each of them. They're gearing up for their fall classes, you guys. So if there's anything that's of interest to you, it's a good time to go check it out. Wonderful teachers. They're all over the country and they all do Zoom classes. So they do in-person classes too. And some of them have even done seminars where they travel and teach that way too. So that's great. They're having a great time. So I will be watching for that email. Watch for that. I will be making that email. You watch for the email. I need to go create that email. And you watch for it and you'll see what's going on here. Some of the latest things here is we do have the VIP group open for members. And if you get into the VIP group right now, you'll have access to a couple more. We still are doing some live projects till the end of the year. So you'll get in on those, plus everything that's offered for next year, 2026. So you get in a little bit of what's going on this year, kind of get a head start. And you also get a 10% discount off anything on our website. If you're a VIP, you get a special personal VIP code, and you can use that on our website. That also includes our art subscription boxes, which are starting in 2026. You get a 10% discount off of that, plus the early bird discount. So it's a pretty good deal if that's something you are interested in. That is coming. Let's see, I've been working on deadlines. I have a lot of designs in the works and trying to help my teachers. They are going to be teaching at the conventions this next year for me. So we're trying to get those submissions pulled together for our teachers that are doing that. And I also have to get ready for Pinners. Pinners is in November, so I'm going to be working on watercolor books for that. We sell watercolor books at that show. Then we also are pulling together our last box of the year for the Secret Garden Whimsy. We have one more box, and that's being pulled together so that can go out. And we have a few more projects to do there. So a few fun things. It's been great. Saturday is our Whimsy Autumn Mingle, and that's for our whimsies in the art subscription group. So all of you whimsies, remember Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time is our little autumn mingle. So there's lots of exciting and fun things going on. My niece is going to come work for us in November, which I'm super excited about. She is so cute. Her name is Autumn. Isn't that the best name? Autumn. Love that name. Okay, let's move on to Celadon. We want to water that down too, to wash. A nice light transparent wash. We're trying to duplicate the look of watercolor. We are using Jo Sonja acrylics, and these acrylics are formulated in a way to mimic a gouache, like a watercolor gouache. So they can go on opaquely or they can go on transparent. And that's why I love them so much. Plus, they're just really great people to work with. You can't beat that. They are wonderful people. Okay, this is a little light, and that's okay. I can always go back and add more color later. So I'm just going to move forward, and then I can always return with more color, leaving some open spots here and there. Now let's bring back some more color here. One thing I noticed is the colors usually dry a little lighter than when they're wet. That's kind of what I've noticed. Okay, so that's good. I like that. And then we have some on our leaves down here. This is Celadon. And someone was asking, can I substitute with Colony Blue? You sure can. I would probably just water it down a little bit more, so it's not so pigmented. If you're interested in this little series of Porch and Petal gift tags, we do have the e-pattern available on our website along with the supplies. And then you can come here and paint with us. All right. I like that blue. So fun. And then our last color is the purple, which is amethyst. Go ahead and water that down to an inky consistency. Kind of going on a little dark, so I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Leave some white spots. Okay, that's going to be good. You just never know how that watercolor or that paint's going to flow. It just kind of does its own thing. But so fun. I just love the look of it. And just to remind you, I am using a number 3, Jo Sonja Sure Touch Select Round. It's a 4010. 4010. So it's got the little black bristles. These bristles are pretty amazing because they release the paint so easily when you want to wash your paint out of your brushes. They just release the paint so nicely. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is this little border around the tag, but I'm going to take a little break and look at your comments. See what we got going on, if I missed anything. Valerie says, or you could use aqua. Certainly, you could use aqua too. And Lisa says she recently signed up for VIP. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate that, Lisa. Did you get into everything okay? I noticed some of my VIPs don't always go onto the Whimsy or onto the VIP webpage. And I just want to make sure you get into all the places you need to. And then also the Facebook group for the VIPs. Sandy says she loves football, Tampa Bay Bucks and Susie's Dallas Cowboys. All right, that's awesome. Are you watching? Are you following them? How are they doing? Okay, let's see what else we got here. Yes, Jackie. Jackie says she zooms in on the art piece to clarify what she's seeing. Love that feature. That is so great to be able to do that. Well, hello, Cheryl. So Valerie asks, what is the feature? Are you talking about the Whimsy group? I'm not sure what you're talking about. What did I say? I don't remember what I said. With the VIP group, we just did a project called Little Flower House, which is kind of a project that works. It's a complementary project to this one. And then we're going to be voting on the next project we're doing together. And what did you have to say?
So some of that, we were just talking about how you can zoom in and out. And we were
Oh, the
talking about that feature.
feature. Okay, that's what you're talking about. I'm like going into a different mode. Okay. Got it. Okay. She's okay. Got it. Nice. We'd love to have you, Valerie. That'd be great if you join the VIPs. We'd love it. We have some catching up to do with this year's VIP group. We have more projects we need to do together because we do 4 projects a year. So we have some more that we need to do this year to finish it up. And you could get in on those. If you join the VIPs now, you can get in on those projects and the lives that go along with those. And and then you'll be able to do all the ones for next year too. So there'll be 4 in 2026. And then, I mean, there's more perks. There's some great perks. And then you get the 10% discount. Like if you're on our website and ordering on a regular basis, that is so worth it to just get that discount. Oh, okay. I'm loving it. You guys having fun? All that color. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is this little border, and I had so much fun with this. Okay, I'm gonna show you how I did it. So what I did was I watered down my paint. And I'm using that Celadon color, right? So it's this really nice, and like some of you might be using aqua or colony blue. Just water it down really good, okay? So you get a nice little puddle. You want a little puddle going on. I keep adding water to it here to get a nice puddle. Okay, maybe just a little bit more. Okay. And then you want a paper towel just kind of ready on the side because you're going to use your paper towel. Okay, so you want to, I'm just going to use this part of my paper towel here. You have that ready. And you want your stylus. Now you're going to use a larger end of your stylus. See how that's a little bit larger? You use that, and we're going to just dip and dot, but it's the transparent dots that we're doing here. So we're just going to dip and dot and then kind of move your stylus around to make a larger dot. And then keep dipping and dotting. And some of your dots can be a little closer together and some a little farther apart. Some of the dots can be a little smaller, some can be a little bigger. You're going to create like a little bubble. See those bubbles? Those are just bubbles. Okay, so then you do a few of them. You kind of get everything out of the way. And this is where you have to be really careful because you can just kind of end up smearing your work. But you're just going to take a paper towel and just touch a few of them like that. And just take off some of the color. And remember, they dry a little lighter, so they'll go in lighter. You just keep doing that. I'm not going to do the paper towel to all of them. Just some of them, because I want some of them to be darker. So just using a stylus and watered down Celadon. And I'm just making those dots a little bigger with my stylus. Some of them are closer together, some of them are smaller. It's the whimsical in us, right? We like to not be so perfect about everything. Okay. There we go. Just keep working your way around. Try not to smear them. Really, I'm going to go the other way so I don't smear anything. Okay. And you can have some space in between some of them, or just make them close together. Just have fun with it. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second and go back and touch some of my dots with a paper towel. I don't want to do them all, but maybe just a few. See, I just took out some of the color there because they are just little bubbles of color. And I'll leave some of them. So I can always go back in and maybe do a little bit more on a few of those. Okay. And keep working around. Let's see. I got some here. Okay, I'm going to stop and take care of that. Well, I actually going to cut it off, so it doesn't matter, right? That does not matter. Because I'm going to cut my little tag out of there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, just keep working around. I am going to be sending out an email today, kind of an update email to everyone about what's been happening. And so check that out. Be looking for that email. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel here, while you're at it, if you have a little break, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. It would be great. We are grateful for all of you who have liked our channel. Thank you. Oh, okay. So see how I took out some. That looks so cool. I love it. So you're just going to kind of randomly go around and touch some of those dots. Some of them you're going to leave dark. Okay. So I think that's good enough. I'm going to leave a few of those dark. Now those will dry lighter. I'm going to get my blow dryer out. I have like a little heat gun here. Let's see what we can do here. See what happens. Some of them are darker, some of them are lighter. Now I'm going to take a little more color off. Okay. I'm liking it. Love it. Love it. See that variegation of color? Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to pull this off and bring it up to the screen so you can see it better. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Love, love. Love it. Okay. So once that's all nice and dry, we can start in with our color pencils. That's what's next. That's the next medium that we use. Check your comments. Well, hello, Robin. It's just about half time. And Liz and Cheryl. Yay. Wait, I missed some of your comments here. Okay. Yes, Alice, I totally agree. These are stress-free and they're just fun to paint if you want to do something simple and fun and smaller than normal. Yep. Okay. Oh, the leaf. Yes, I didn't see that leaf. Thank you, Jackie. You know what, Valerie? I don't know if I have the witch's shoes on my VIP channel. I'll have to go see. I don't think it is. I might have to add that. I try to have it like a healthy balance of the videos that I put up because I do have my certified teachers, and if I had all the videos available to everyone, that's just not fair to them. So try to, protect them a little bit. But I will go see what I have. Might be able to put that up. Okay, I forgot this leaf, you guys. You probably didn't. So if you did, though, with me, go ahead and put that in. Okay. Woohoo, that was fun. I just love the little dots. It was so fun. Okay, we're going to use our Kelly Green pencil. This is the Prismacolor Premier. These are wax-based. They're not oil-based, they're wax-based. The oil-based doesn't really work for what I do. So I prefer the wax-based. And we're just gonna go in and add I really want a sharp pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp. And I'm gonna go in and add my little lines. And I like to keep the lines as thin as I can and kind of skip along on your line with pressure. Like I put a little more pressure here at the end of this flourish. And then as I come around the corner, I use less pressure and then more pressure as I come down to the base of that area. Same thing up here, a little bit pressure by the flower, less pressure and more. So that's what I mean by skipping my pressure along. I try to make it so the pencil is thin and thick. I'm going to try and bring the camera down a little more so we can get closer in. You guys can see this better. Okay, I'm going to start up here. And the same thing, kind of thin and then thicker as I get closer to the main stem. And you'll want to work on all your little vein lines of your leaves. Put those in. And I turn my pencil as I go too. Put a little more here at the bottom of the stem. Some on the leaves. The color pencils are erasable too, to a certain point. If it's over paint, it erases better than if it's just right on your watercolor paper. So like right here, I kind of went over. I'm not going to be able to get all of that off because it stains the paper. But I'll get the majority of off. So that's just something to remember. When it goes on the paper, just raw, on the raw paper, it's not going to erase as easily. But if you're over paint, it will erase pretty easily. Okay, let's do a little bit around this area here. Okay, and then I'm going to just very lightly do some shading. I don't want to do too much. I just really love the where this is going with the watercolor effect. So I'm using a very light pressure just to put a little shading down at the bottom of each of my leaves, my green leaves. And you can see it's just like a feather touch. These pencils, they're not watercolor pencils. They're Prismacolor Premier wax-based. They are very soft and doesn't take much. Just a little bit at the base of each green leaf. Try not to go too dark. Okay. working up this stem here. Okay. Loving it. I love these pencils. They're so nice and soft. Easy to work with. And I really think they strengthen their formulation, because it used to be that the waxy core sometimes would get brittle, and I haven't noticed that at all lately. So they must have been working on that, getting that, making that a better formulation, because they seem to be really strong to me. If you want to soften up your shading, you can always take your eraser in and just erase towards your shading, and you can soften it up that way. And then I just make sure everything's dry, but I just take a soft brush to wipe off my pencil crumbs. If you need to do any more line work, you can do that. I feel pretty happy about what I have here. I don't feel like I need to do any more line work with my green. So we'll move over to the next color, which is light umber. And we're just using 2 pencils for all these gift tags, and then a palette of colors. They're just using kind of the same colors and then same pencil colors. Yes, there are other brands. Let's see. Let me look at your comment. It just disappeared. It disappears on my phone really quick. So I'm going to go back and look. Jackie says, are there any other brands of wax-based pencils that are comparable to Prisma? Yes, there are. And let me think about it. I've got to remember the names of them. There's Derwent. I hear really good things about Derwent. And if I remember right, they're a little more, the price is a little higher, but they're good. They're good pencils. I use Prismacolor. The price point is good, and then also they're easy to find here in the United States. So I like Prismacolor that way. But yeah, Derwent, the quality is great. So check them out. I've heard of polychromos, but I don't know if they're wax based. I'm not sure. So you might want to check on that. Or if anyone out there in YouTube land knows, you can add your 2 bits. Okay, so I have my light umber pencil. I got it nice and sharp. And let's start out with there's like this little border, an inside border. I'm going to go ahead and add some lining to that. And I'm not going to do it as dark all the way around. So in some spots, it's the same thing, kind of skipping my pencil along and going dark in different spots around my border, and going lighter in different spots. So I'm going to kind of do a darker line down here at the bottom. And a darker line up here at the top. Okay. So I got kind of that variegation going also with my pencils. Okay. This is light umber. Now I'm going to cut around the outside edge, so I don't need to do anything there. We're going to go ahead and work on lining some of our elements inside the flower. So I'm going to line around these little teardrops, but I'm going to keep it light and skip my line along so it's not like a dark outline. It's like thin and thick. If you're using the etched pieces of paper that we sell, let's see if I have one that you can see. It looks like this. If you're using the etched piece of paper, you see it already naturally has a line there, so you might not have to do too much lining. But if you are putting the design on the paper yourself, you will need to go in and do a little bit more lining than normal. Okay. Some of it is okay without too much lining. You can kind of leave it to the imagination. And that's one thing about watercolor I do love is it doesn't have to be all, everything doesn't have to be put in lines for you to be able to see what's going on there. But I'm lightly lining around the elements. And some areas I'm not going to add much lining work. I just want to keep it kind of natural looking. Okay. Okay, so we have the heart here too. We could probably work around this heart a little bit. Darker down at the bottom of the heart. And how about a little bit on our blue outside petals, just to clarify those more. Okay, and then we'll do some shading. I'm not going to worry about the leaves. They look pretty good to me. I'm happy with them. I'm just going to go back and do a little bit of shading. I'm not going to shade the yellow. I'm not shading this part really. I'll shade the purple. A little bit at the bottom of the purple. You can add some shading there. And every time you do this design or any of these designs, they're going to be a little different. They're all going to have their own charm. So just let it roll. Have fun with it. You can make these really creative things going on. If you look at this tag compared to this tag, they are a little different. But isn't that fun? Love it. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about these two colors, but I'm going to go in and do a little shading on my celadon color, that bluish green color, just a little bit at the bottom. Same type of pressure that you did with the green pencil. I don't want it too dark. It kind of takes away from the design, I think, if it gets too dark. Okay, I'm not worrying about the yellow either, although I think I will line around the yellow a little more so I can see that better. And let's go ahead and do a little shading down at the bottom of our heart. And we also have a little shading on the blue sections of the leaves, just in between the area, or just the blue area that surrounds the green part of the leaf. And again, it's just a light touch here and there. Now, lastly, all we really need to do is go back to our lining and repeat the darkest areas of our lining here and there, just the darkest areas. Okay. Ta-da! It's so fun. Now I can cut it out. And you probably want to use some thin scissors for this. I like just little scissors. You have a little more control going around the corners and stuff. Cut these out. And then I don't have a hole punch right now, but I want to get one, just a small little hole punch. You know how they make hole punches now in the craft world? They're just all different sizes and shapes, and you can get heart hole punches and square hole punches. You can get just about anything you want. So I think that's probably something I need to get and invest for myself, is some little hole punches. And then you can add like a string or ribbon to these tags. I have some, what's that ribbon called? It's like a variegated ribbon. There's different colors going on in it. That would be cool. Or even yarn would work. And then if you want to make a garland of these, you can. That would be fun. I really want to see your pictures, you guys. So if you haven't checked us out on Facebook, we do have a group that's open to everyone. It's called Paint and Pencil with Us on Facebook. If you go on there and then you post these tags that you've been making, that would be so fun to see. Love to see what you do. Paint and Pencil with Us. It's a free group. You can see what everyone's doing there. Okay, a little bit more here. Okay, I think that's good. All right. So yeah, I just need to get a little hole on there so I can put my ribbon in and do something fun with that. That would even be a cute little bookmark, you know? Okay, we can put the glitter on and rhinestones and all that fun stuff. We did talk about varnishing, and I don't know, I have time to do that today, so I could do that. Why don't we go ahead with our fast drying glaze medium to set everything first. And this is what I use, the Jo Sonja fast drying glaze medium. This works, it's a light sealer, and it works really well at setting your pencils along with your paint. So kind of great. You want to put this always, you want to put a barrier coat of a glazing medium over your painted pieces before you varnish. This is a hard, fast rule for color pencils too, because with color pencils, if you put varnish right over color pencils, you're going to smear everything. So you want to put a light sealer over your pencil work, and it will keep your varnish from smearing everything. But you also want to put it over your painted work too, because your varnish gets soaked up into the paint and it will stop moving if you don't have a barrier coat there. And it can get really frustrating. So you don't want to be frustrated. Make sure you if you start doing paint and pencil with us, you'll need the fast drying glaze medium and some like matte varnish. That's what I like to use. Okay, so this is a 3/4 inch Sure Touch oval wash by Jo Sonja. You just need a brush that's soft. See how nice and soft that is? Something that's soft. I like this one because it's kind of tapered here at the end, and makes it nice for applying varnish and mediums and stuff. Make sure everything's nice and dry. You don't want anything wet on there. You don't want your brush to be wet either. So dry is the key. Grab your medium. I just put it in my brush. This is the Fast Drying Glaze Medium by Jo Sonja. And you're going to lay it down. Hold your brush over here, okay? So you don't put too much pressure on your brush. More pressure means smearing, okay? So light pressure, just roll it across your piece. Don't go back and forth. You're not overworking it, okay? You're just laying it down and setting everything on your piece. So I did that. It looks good. I got it all in there. Rinse out your brush and then take a paper towel and dry your brush too. I always don't want to keep extra moisture in your brush. Okay, so rinse it out in clean water and then just kind of dry it and set aside. Okay, so it will curl a little bit because you got moisture on it, which is totally fine. It will go back to its flat self once it dries. Once it's nice and dry, we'll take the matte varnish, and this is what I use. Jo Sonja matte varnish. I'm almost done with this bottle. I know it looks raggedy, but I'm almost done. So I'm gonna use that up. And I like to have a little mediums dish that I can put my mediums in or varnish. So you want to mix up your varnish really well so you don't have the matte qualities sink to the bottom, because what will happen is your matte qualities will not be mixed in and then it doesn't come out right. So you want to make sure and mix your varnish good. Okay. Make sure everything's nice and dry. You never varnish over a wet surface. Make sure it's dry. So we're going to just let that dry a little bit. I'll go back to your comments. Okay. Oh, polychromos are oil-based. Okay, nice to know, Robin. Thank you, Robin. Robin's given us an update. She says there's no witchy poo shoes on the VIP, but the Halloween quilt blocks, yeah, has a witch shoe. Lisa, you're so right. Yeah, well, cross my fingers, you guys. Send me good vibes, because I'm really trying to do some Halloween gift tags. All right. Looks like I'm caught up with your comments. Okay. Okay, so we have our varnish here. I promised you guys I would show you how to do this. So we're going to go through the whole thing. Okay. So you want to go ahead and put your varnish on your brush. And we want to just use a light touch again. Just lay the varnish down. This varnish is indoor, outdoor. So it's amazing varnish. It will make this last into the millennium. No promises, but it would probably make it last a long time. If you do like 2 to 3 coats, you would have a nice little piece there. You can also do the back. Why not? Get the back done. We're not having to seal anything because we didn't do anything to the back, right? So, okay, now I got to hold it while it dries. Okay. So I'm going to grab my heat gun and I'm going to try to get a second coat on here, but I need to let it dry before I put a second coat on. So let's hit it with a heat gun. You know, and I'm doing all this because if you want these to last a long time, you know, like let's say you give one to a friend, you want her to keep it as a keepsake, then you could varnish it too, and it will last a lot longer. You won't have problems with little fingerprints and stuff. And the matte varnish dries, you can tell, like really matte, like you can hardly tell it's there. So I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on. I recommend 2 or 3 coats, 3 to 4 coats, depending on, you know, like how much protection you want for it. Just softly put that varnish on. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'm just going to do 2 coats today because I want to hurry up and show you guys how to do the glitter. Let's see if I can't get this going without burning myself. Okay, it looks like it's fairly dry in the back. So. Indoor Outdoor Varnish by Jo Sonja. Lovely. Okay. Okay, we want it nice and dry before we put glitter on, right? Because we don't want glitter everywhere. I usually just put touches of glitter. It's nice. Okay. Let's see, I have my glitter here. This is the Opaline glitter. And then I use my, where is it? All-purpose sealer. I use all-purpose sealer for my glue. This is like my glitter glue. Jo Sonja does have an opal type of medium that you, I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is it? Ah, there it is, opal dust. They have opal dust, which has a lot more glitter than, it's a new formula. It has a lot more in it than it did in the past, which is great too. You could use this. If you happen to have this would be great. Maybe do a few coats of it. I really like a lot of glitter on mine, so I'm just doing it this way, but sometimes I do the opal dust depending on how much glitter I want. Okay, so I'm going to add my all-purpose sealer just to my palette because I only need a drop of it. I use my brush and I'm going to put the all-purpose sealer wherever I want the glitter effects to be. And I'm going to do it on the yellow areas, like I'm kind of staying consistent with what I've been doing on the other tags. Just on the yellow. Okay, and this will dry clear. Try and not keep your brushes in the water if you can. Always take your brushes out and just take out the extra moisture. Okay. I usually clean my brushes like at the end of the day. So it's okay if you just kind of keep them moist. But what I'm saying is rinse them out, dry them a little bit so they're somewhat moist. By the end of the day, you can still clean them. Okay, so I put my glitter on. I'm going to shake that off. And come back. Oops. And I've got my glitter on. It needs to dry still, but you can see that's going to be so pretty on there. And then I'm going to put a little rhinestone in the middle. So grab my rhinestone jar, a handy dandy rhinestone jar from my mama. I found this in her cupboard. And I was like, oh, I have to have that little jar. It's so cute. I'm just going to put some out here. I miss my mom. Okay, I really like, there's like a smaller opal rhinestone and a bigger one. And thinking I might go with the, let me see what size I did before. I did the smaller one. I think I'll go with that smaller one. Okay. And then a little glue. Need a little glue to put your rhinestones on. And I just take a stylus. These styluses are handy dandy. If anything you have in your toolbox, you need your brushes and you need a stylus. So you can put the glue down with your stylus. And then you can pick up your rhinestone with a little pencil or a rhinestone picker. And add the rhinestone. I think that's so fun because it's like your finishing touch, right? It's like the last little ta-da! Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you. Yes, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up and definitely subscribe. So Alice, thank you. She says, I'm sorry that you're so busy, but I'm so happy with results of your creativity that we get to share. Thank you. Yeah, it'll get better. It's just it seems to come in waves. All the deadlines like hit at the same time or within the same 2 weeks, and that can be rough. And I'm not the only one that experiences it. All the other artists do too. So, you know, that's how it goes in our little world of decorative painting. We have our deadlines hitting at the same time. Okay. Right, that was awesome. I had so much fun with that, you guys. Okay, so we've got these 3 that are done. And then we're gonna work on, wait, no, it's not that one. This one is done. So we've got these 3. That's part 1, part 2, part 3. And then we're gonna do part 4 on Saturday. So you guys tune in on Saturday. We'll do part 4 and we'll chat a little more. We'll have some fun, a little afternoon fun today together. Yeah. So till then, ta-ta for now, you guys. Thanks for being on, and I'll talk to you later. Happy painting.